For the millionth time, they keep cutting me off. This is coming from discard. No, kick changes. Well, they're making shorts for me. They're making shorts for me. So you want to make shorts for me? That's okay. Oh, okay. So I'm getting up there in the minutes. It's giving me 40 minutes worth. So I'll start it again. So I'm up. I'll talk to myself. Cause y'all on some bullshit tonight. Oh, you're just cutting me off? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely trying to take me out. No. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on because, well, I can enjoy a beer while it all figures itself out. Because, yeah, it's gotten me really prickly tonight, which to me seems like it's some type of attack. And that's what happens. Oops. I'm getting jammed at what it seems like. It's some kind of something is jamming the signal. They send in some kind of jam signal because, again, the system's not being taxed at all. No phone is being watched, no TV. I pay the most for my internet, so it ain't my internet. uh, that was just plain funny. That was just plain funny. Bottle caps everywhere. Every time, yeah. I'll keep going, but yeah. So politics is just one. It's one thing. It's just one party. I mean, all we see on all the different news networks when they show them arguing and stuff, it's like I told this story years and years ago. This is what politics is. My first wife grew up in the South. I never thought wrestling was real. I always saw that it was scripted because it was the same thing every time. One dude get beat to death, then all of a sudden he comes back and half beats to death the other guy. I mean, it was easy for me to see. So of course, when I go to college, I've known since a young boy that wrestling is scripted. So I tried to tell this to my ex-wife, my first wife. She didn't believe me. So we go to Greensboro Coliseum. I forget. We saw who else on the East Coast then. I don't even remember. Seemed like we saw Andre the Giant, some other people. And we went to Ponderosa after the event. And guess who was also in Ponderosa? All the wrestlers that we saw trying to kill themselves. So, she looked at me and she's like, you were right. I was wrong. It is scripted. And that's what politics is. Now, on state politics, you can have a greater reach. But remember what they did to state politics, they forced state politics to have term limits. Because you have to remember, you had states for years that were very powerful states. And that's what a state should be. A state is a country technically. But they've tricked us into giving up our countries and turning them into states so they can be under the Fed control. All right, so that's what they are. And so they can run in the Senate long as they want. President can only run so long, but they can run. The Senate can run forever, and you can go from like Biden, not being wealthy. Biden was not wealthy. Look at him now. That's what happens when you go into politics, and you can stay in the Senate for 30 years. You become wealthy. Is that who we really want to be governed by? people that found a way to get wealthy through politics? Does that seem like we would have a fair voice in politics? And we look at the history of the world, there's always multiple parties. Even before Hitler got in power, there were multiple parties. But they've tricked us into accepting just one, two, good and bad. It's like my fiance says she would vote for Biden again because it's the better of two evils, which is the exact same thing they were saying about Hillary Clinton and Trump. So we see it over and over again. It's the same thing. And for all the people out there making shorts, the Republicans ain't as, my views are conservative. There's no doubt about that. But they're not the perfect answer either. For anyone thinks that, Trump can be a messiah, no, he wasn't really a messiah before. He did some things, but he wasn't a messiah like people thinking. Now, with things have been better these last few years, it seems like business-wise, the market-wise, things would have been better. So it's one head. It's like they show the dragon with two heads. Well, we talk about even the dragon with three heads. The dragon with three heads. And we only look at, we think it's something different, but it's all really one. It's one body. So it's really just one dragon. The idea that it's two separate things is illusion. So when you see in that dragon with three heads, the only head is really the one head. That's the only thing that's real in politics. Now, again, your local politics, you can really make a difference and an influence. Judges, magistrates, whatever kind of systems you have, you can make a difference in that. The people that want to do the work. There's one beautiful sister out in San Francisco. Oh, she's in San Diego. I'm friends with on Facebook. And she has really advocated, because she's had some children in prison, but she's really advocated for fair treatment down there. And maybe hopefully in the future I can bring her on sometime. But she worked hard and now she's running for something. I am Facebook's friend with an attorney in Detroit. She is actually running for the Senate. So she's trying to take that because we have a senator out of Dearborn, I think. I think that's what she's going for. She's going, and she got a lot of bread behind her. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how she does and if she's able to achieve, U.S. Senate status out of Michigan. I'm not sure who she's going against. I have an idea who it is because just for me, it's like Malcolm X was just saying that the Nation of Islam was the only one trying to kill him. So it's not just one thing. It's a couple things that's hitting me with something. Because again, my system ain't taxed. I've got Xfinity. Well, I think that's what this little thing is Xfinity. And it's in my room. And the computer's plugged into it. So there's nothing taxing my system. Nothing. No one's watching television. Everything is off but this. So you've seen other nights where I just, no interruptions at all. So to get an interruption. But I'll say this. It could be more than just Google too. Because other people can jam your shit up too. So, but it's nothing to be paranoid about. Whatever. I got time tonight. And if y'all still want to hear what I said, I'm going to go until it's still fairly early. 1. I've already put in about 40 minutes. So this time it's, so I'm going to go for another hour or 2. I'm feeling good. I got time tonight. I ain't got nothing to do until 11 o'clock tomorrow. And I will do that. Ooh. Let me see. There was one football story I came across. Woo. Let me see if I can find that again. If I can find it on here, I know I can. University of Iowa. Whoops. Whoops. American in the 30s. The 30s. Let me see if this will give me this guy. Yes, it did. I know. Okay, this is, yeah. I wanted to share this story. And this is what's interesting. You know, we don't look for this. And if it shows this, if this shows this, yeah, this is his name. Nope. Right here. I found him. I want to show this story. And we don't look for these things. All right. All right. This is Ozzy. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. What is that? O-S? Damn. Well, how do you pronounce O-Z-A? O-Z-E. That might be American Indian. All right. Ozzy Simmons. Born in Gainesville, Texas. Simmons grew up all-state high school quarterback in the segregated school league in Fort Worth. Opportunities were limited for black players at the time, but it was the Iowa alumni who saw Simmons play and suggested that he go to the University of Iowa, where blacks had been members since the 1890s. Sims had heard of the exploits of black players like Archie Alexander and Duke Slater. So Ozzy's brother, so his older brother Don and himself, both of them went. The Simmons found football coach in his office was initially stunned to have two black players walk unannounced into his office. Well, Solon asked Simmons brothers to attend Iowa's practice that afternoon, and in Iowa was conducting a punt drill. Ozzy promptly returned two punts back for touchdowns. After practice, Stolen told the boys, "We'll find you a place to stay." Now, that was pretty common for if a brother, in early football, if a brother would go to a team, he would take somebody with him. All right. Ozzy's career, Ozzy had been poorly educated in the segregated school in Texas, so he spent his freshman year catching up. Didn't play his freshman year. Sophomore year in 1934, Ozzy was ready for the shine. His first game was a 34-0 win against South Dakota. Simmons had a 22-yard scoring run as well as a punt return for 61 and 32 yards. Ozzy rushed 166 yards, including a 47-yard touchdown defeat of Northwestern. Ralph Cannon wrote, "The slithery, rubbery Ozzy Flyer can make his legs talk more languages than ever. Red Grange could than when he was a sophomore. Most of it seems to come naturally to Simmons, as such things must come to the genius of any line. Simmons was nicknamed the Ebony Eel after that game and gained national acclaim, but Iowa lost every remaining game in 34 despite his play of Simmons, who returned the interception 80 yards and lost to Ohio State. Ozzy was first Big Ten, all first team Big Ten, and a second team All-America. I think that would make him eligible to be in the College Hall of Fame. 35 was his finest year. He scored 5 touchdowns on runs of 50 or more in 35. Simmons scored Iowa's touchdown in a 12-6 upset of Colgate. And his touchdown pass to fellow black, they had to put that he was black. Homer Harris was Iowa's only points in a loss to Purdue. Simmons' best game was against Illinois. Simmons rushed for 192 yards, intercepted a pass, and returned 3 punts for 32 yards, returned 2 kicks for 50 more yards, and scored a touchdown in a 19-0 upset. Simmons led rushing in 1935 and selected a first-team All-American, so that would make him eligible. I think any All-American team makes you eligible for the College Hall of Fame. Ozzy was also first all-team Big Ten. He led the Hawkeyes, and here we go again. Oh, no. You see how we don't even have to look for it? We don't even have to look for it. And here's the 42. Do you see how they do? Do you see this? I mean, we don't even look for it, but there it is. Now, what is the odds that they would go 42, you know? But again, I thought that was odd. Now this, I want to get in a little bit of his senior year. Senior year was a disappointment, 36. Though Ozzie led Iowa in both rushing and scoring, the Hawkeyes failed to win a conference game, and Simmons failed to make any postseason honors. He even quit the team for a couple of days after he suffered the worst loss in 20 years, a 52-0 loss to Minnesota. Simmons felt that Coach Sumlin had been too critical on him for their failures, but Simmons was convinced to return the team. Ozzie's final game was against Temple. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, here, okay. It's further down. Okay. But Simmons was convinced to return. Ozzie's final game was against nationally ranked Temple and their Hall of Fame coach, Pop Warner. Pop Warner is one of the Mason who kind of kickstarted pro football. Simmons scored in a 74-yard touchdown to lead to a 25 upset. He gained 1,500 yards, third most in Iowa history at the time, 14 touchdowns, 8 of them are plays of 50 or more. His final overall record was 9-11-4. His 3 injury-plagued years at Iowa, Simmons fans something to cheer about. Simmons best known for central figure in their story that spawned the Floyer of Rosedale. A talented black player in the 30s was a target of opposing players, which accounted for many of his numerous injuries. During a run against Northwestern, he was punched. In another game, newspaper says the player rammed his locked hands into Simmons' face. Ronald Reagan, then an announcer in Des Moines, later in the 40th president, the problem what you played any team that did not have a black player for some reason or another, they would pick on that one man. Reagan then recounted a game against Illinois where Ozzie was injured twice, Reagan said. I saw Iowa players Dick Crane and Tom Ozazak walk over to the Illinois huddle during a timeout, and after the timeout, they said, do this to Simmons one more time, and we're going to get him out of the game. But the worst treatment came in a game against Minnesota. 12 years earlier, a black player named George Trice was killed by injury sustained in a game against the Gophers. Let's look him up. Yeah, let's look him up. Trice was born in 1902, the son of a former Buffalo soldier. Trice, as a child, was active in sports and demonstrated outstanding athletic skills. Trice's mother sent him to Cleveland to live with his uncle. Trice attended East Technica High School, where he played football in 22. Trice followed 5 of his teammates as well, a high school coach, to Iowa College in Ames, Iowa. It was Iowa. While attending Iowa State, Trice participated in track, football, primarily as a tackle. He majored in animal husbandry with the desire to go back south after graduation, to use his knowledge to help farmers. In the summer before, the summer before his freshman year, at the age of 19, Trice married someone who was 15. So he was 19. He married Cora May Strayland, who was only 15. They both found jobs to support themselves. And through school, Trice was also a member of A Phi A. Wow. Okay. Initially through the Alpha Nu chapter, Drake in Iowa. The night before his second college game, Trice wrote in a following letter stationary to a racially segregated hotel in Minneapolis. The letter was found in Trice's jet suit before his funeral. My thoughts just before the first real college game of my life, the honor of my race, family and self is all at stake. Everyone expected me to do big things. I will my whole body and soul to throw recklessly about the field tomorrow. Every time the ball is snapped, I will try to do more than my part on all the defensive plays. I must break through the opponents and stop the play in their territory. Be aware of mass interference, Fight low with your eyes open toward the plate. Watch for crisscrosses and the reverse end runs. Be on your toes. All right. In 1923, Trice and his Iowa State teammates played against the University of Minnesota. On the night of the game, Trice got to stay in the same hotel as the teammates who stayed at the Radisson, but he could not eat with the team in the dining room. Wow, they let him stay there. During the second play of the game, Trice's collarbone was broken. During the second play of the game, his collarbone was broken.
It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Do you know how you can barely stand up straight when your collarbone's broken? Trice insisted he was all right, but returned to the game. In the third quarter, while attempting to tackle a university ball carrier, Trice ended up on his back in a roadblock, a play which is now barred, and was trapped by 3 players. Although he claimed to be fine, no, see, this doesn't, okay. Tempted, Trice ended up on his back after a roadblock and was trampled. So all 3 players stepped on his stomach. Although he claimed to be fine, Trice was not able to stand and was removed from the game and sent to Minneapolis, to a Minneapolis hospital. The doctors declared him fit to travel. When he turned to train with his teammates, he died from hemorrhage in his lungs and internal bleeding as a result of the injuries. So the Minnesota hospital said, nigga's okay, and he died on the way home. There was a great deal of speculations around the play that resulted in Trice's death. I am a teammate. Told the Cleveland Dealer in 79 that one person told me that nothing out of the ordinary happened, but another who saw it said it was murder. Iowa State dismissed all his classes. His funeral was held. And the stadium is now named after him. In 1984, the stadium was named Cyclone. The player field was named Trice. Government was waiting to honor Trice more, raise the money, a statue of him. Due to his persistence of the student body, students, the faculty, staff, supporters, and blah, 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 blah. The football stadium at Iowa State was finally named after him in 97. And here's a picture of it, Trice Stadium. And it is currently the only Division I stadium or arena to be named after American Indian. So I don't know if y'all knew that story. I'm about a book. It's a book too. I'm about a book. So it's a book. Yeah. Siova, I'm sorry I'm a little late. Yeah, I saw that. That's why you said that somebody, they took it off. That's why I put it on there. Yeah, Siova. That's why I put it on there, because you said somebody took it off. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna put that motherfucker on there. See what they say about me putting it on there, because it is a waste. $3,000 to lock you in. You know, $3,000 to make you not want to go outside, make your children not want to go outside, do nothing. So, but yeah, that's what I used it for, bro. That's what I used it for. So I hope you don't mind. Oh, that ain't just me, is it? Why is that like that? Oh, where am I? Ah, there we go. Huh. But yeah, Siova, I saw that on yours, and that's why I wanted to share it. Because if you said that the person had it out, you spitting too much game for them hoes. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, you was born in Fort Worth? Okay. But yeah, Siova, that's where I got it from. I saw yours and you said they took it down. So I'm like, okay, take this one down. So you grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma. Okay, Key, what's happening? I don't think I saw you tonight, Key. What's happening? And I know you got to have
vision.
So yeah, I'm gonna get that book about John Trice, but yeah, what they did is 3 people actually stepped on his stomach. And I don't know how he played after a separated shoulder. Now, what they did is his shoulder was separated, and what they did is they popped it back in place. But yeah, that's like unbelievable pain. And that he made it through. So he was already hurt. They said, do you guys know what a roadblock is? So this is what a roadblock was. It's kind of almost like a trap, but what you do is you stay low, and as the pursuit is coming towards you, you roll into his legs. So that's an easy way to take somebody out that ain't looking. And so that's why that's illegal. Because dudes would stay on all fours, and then somebody would come at them, and they would just roll their body into their legs. That's what a roadblock was, if y'all didn't know. I mean, if you look at old time football, late hits was what wasn't called. Tackling out of bounds wasn't called. Like, you look at Jim Thorpe football, which was almost, in the 30s. And Trice played in the like teens. He played in the teens, like 7, 8, 10, somewhere in there. So, no, it's not mine. I want people to share that shit out. The tech creator is too damn scary and let people know what happened. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's why I shared that shit. I'm like, okay, it's gonna keep popping up because you really expect us to. Because what are they gonna do? And this is what they do every time, like they did with them red boots. Give it to the entertainers, right? Give it to the entertainers, and the rest of the people got to buy the shit. So they're going to give them to the entertainers. The entertainers going to have their phones or something with them goggles on and say they playing the game with the phone with the goggles on. So instead of giving you the glasses, they're giving you the goggles. Because the goggles is going to be the same thing as the glasses. Remember, they tried to give you the glasses. They tried to give you the Google glasses. And I think that was too advanced for people. I don't think people were ready for that. So they had to dumb it down. So now they're going to come out with these goggles supposed to be $3,000. So we'll see. But fuck yeah, I'm going to share that shit. I mean, I love my lady in the window, because the lady in the window, it's just cool as shit. The lady in the window is like, despite the war going on, I'm going to take this moment. I own the moment, because the moment is all I have. That's why I put the lady in the window. And I can't find who that's by. I wish I could, because I want to make a big ass print. Put it on one of these walls in here. So, man, I didn't get to play pickleball, but I did 2 miles on this NordTrack. And I cut off 10 minutes off my miles. I caught my laps down to about, I'm not quite to college level, because I think in college it was like 20 minutes. You had 20 minutes to run. Now you had to run a mile in 12 minutes. Yeah, you had to run a mile in 12 minutes, and I can do that. I can run a mile. I ran my second mile in about 8 minutes. Yeah, so I'm doing pretty good. So I'm not playing, but the cool thing about not playing is I'm not messing up my tendons, and I'm lifting. The days I don't play, I lift. I do the rope. So, keep myself fit. So if I play tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, I'm picking up my daughter. My brother-in-law's got the pool done, so that's, we going over there tomorrow night. My fiance was like, I'm glad it's Friday. We just get to go chill. I'm like, no, we're going over to your brother's house. He called me Wednesday, and he wanted us to come Wednesday, but you was getting your hair done, so we are going over there tomorrow. She's like, really? She's like, well, why don't you and Natalie just go, which we will. We'll drive out there. I'll go out there and kick it. And the creator who made the thumbnail put some bullshit apology. Wow. He apologized. Wow. He told the truth. So, yeah, I'm a rocket for a minute, because he told the truth. You want our youth to be tied up like that. Now, the only good thing is children won't be walking like this anymore. Eventually they're going to be able to wear them goggles everywhere. So now, I know they're probably tied up into units at home, but eventually they're going to be able to wear them everywhere. And it's going to become a status thing, It's going to become a status thing. That's why they're going to give them to the people you see on TV at first, They're going to give that to them first. I don't know if you saw this. Your last video was cut out. Yeah, I saw. It did. I know. I saw Steph wasn't highlighted this playoffs because of his involvement in FTX. Same with Brady. Didn't play on the All-Star game either. The day after the SEC dropped their infield by FTX, Steph got injured. And remember, they'd been trying to serve Shaq, and they finally served him. I saw some shit that was talking about Brady going to the Raiders. Didn't Brady go to the New England so he could retire? Didn't that? I don't know. That's what I thought, that Brady was going to go to New England so he could retire with the Patriots. Well, I could be wrong. I think people are tired of Steph. And this is going to be good when we see that young man not play next year, another Ben Simmons. And, people keep being fooled bringing these foreigners over here. And even the Joker, the Joker is, not exciting basketball. Nothing about his game is sellable. As Lobo said, he's not marketable. He ain't selling no gate. That all the games are down. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares about this series. The series ain't selling more jerseys. And that's what you want your playoffs to do. You want them to sell more hats, more t-shirts, more jerseys. This is your peak. Now, how many people selling Joker jerseys? How many people buying Murray jerseys? How many people, Jimmy Butler? That's about the only. Bam, ain't nobody buying Bam jerseys. So there's no gate. There's no attraction. And see, that's where they got us, because again, this is no real attraction. This is something that really we should ignore. Realistically, everyone should look at this and say, this is not good enough. That's really when we see sports like this, everybody, remember, what was it? What was it? Oh my goodness. Okay, check this out. So it was a science fiction show where everybody had the screens, and the way you voted was, if you stayed on, you agreed. If you turned it off, you disagreed. The motherfucker came up with an idea, all the screens went off. Everybody disagreed. And if we did that to them, that would make them quit giving us this fake product. Or at least make it a better product. Now, I had to watch the hockey game in US Bank like this. I'm watching the hockey game like this. I turned off the sound and everything. I watched the game on my phone. We got to the restaurant by the third quarter. And I watched the third quarter. Well, I watched about 8 minutes in the restaurant of overtime. So, yeah, it was overtime. When we left, it was overtime at US Bank. By the time we got in the restaurant, it had started. And I saw the end of the game. The overtime win. So, they tried to push him playing for the Raiders like Jordan played for the Wizards. Yeah, I saw somebody put him in a uniform. I got 2 Jimmy Butler jerseys, Jamal jerseys. The 27 is ugly. That 27, there's no way you make that look good. That's one number that is in pretty much all sports, it's off. It just doesn't look good on any jersey. Remember the dude, it was a 27 on Boston, how ugly that looked. It really looks terrible in football. 27 is a number that should never be in football. It looks so awkward. Now, I don't know what my gematria people know, but 27 on a football jersey is just one of the most terrible. It just doesn't work. Joe Caldwell is probably the most famous number 27. See if I can show my point. See if I can find this. NFL players number 27. See if this will find anything. Oh, they suck. See. No famous 27s. Who is 27? I'm not finding info players. Ooh. Where's my God? Let's see if this helps me. No. I could not find any players wearing 27. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I know this dude. Steve Atwater. This just doesn't work. And you know the only reason they keep this is because it equals 9. That's the only reason this jersey, this number is allowed, because it equals 9. Other than that, there's no need for this jersey. But they want this because it equals 9. But look at this. It looks so awkward. It looks like if you look at balance, numbers should be balanced. And not to say high, low, but I'm just saying there should be a balance of it. And this is just so off and this is not just this is something I've thought all my life. Like, I think, now I could be wrong, but I think his name was, he played for Purdue. Amos. It wasn't Amos Otis. It was Amos, because he ended up playing with Denver too. But he wore 27 in Purdue, and that was the first time I was like, damn, why does anybody wear this number? It just looks so bad on a football uniform. And right here is a prime example. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work. And that's why this number is not, I mean, it's not heavily done. Now, Joe Caldwell in basketball, we could look up. Joe Caldwell. So, see, I think, let me see for Matt Waters any more 27s for Matt Water. No. Yeah, it's like Atwater's it. Okay, now let me show you. There we go. Now, come on. Joe Caldwell is playing the NBA. Joe Caldwell. NBA. I knew I'd find him. This ain't a great picture. Oh, here we go. Okay, there's a great picture of it. I know this dude. And I tell a story about his house. This is the cat that had the house with the big old tree in the middle. Joe Caldwell. And look at this, again, 29. This is the St. Louis Spirits. This cat's about 6'9", 6'8". More like 6'9". This is Joe Caldwell. I don't know if they got more pictures of Joe Caldwell. Not there. Nope. This is the best one. Here he is again. Carolina Cougars. 27. They called him Jumping Joe Caldwell. Okay. Here's with him with the Hawks. Might still. Oh, no. He played with the Dallas team and won a champion. No, that was Zelmo Beatty. But again, it doesn't work. You see, this number just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Some ugly jerseys too. Wonder what team is this? Chaparrals? Get any more of him? No, doesn't look like it. But you know, when I tell that party, I told y'all about I went to that party. It was his party I went to. Oh, here's another one of him. It was his party that had the house with the tree in the middle. It was his party. But it doesn't work. Oh, this is the Carolina Cougars. So, yeah. So this is the Carolina Cougars. He played, he lived in Greensboro. See, the Cougars, this is the Carolina Cougars. Cougar jersey. Actually, I don't mind the jersey. I don't like the number. But the jersey is kind of, damn, I kind of like that. Cougars with Wow, I don't mind that. Yeah, but he gave that crazy party where I went to that had the big tree in the middle. It was this cat's house. I ain't say his name before, but I'm gonna say his name now. It's like one of my teammates asked me if I wanted to go to a party, and I'm like, cool. We drive and if we go to this big old crib, and I'm like looking at him like, what kind of fucking shit is this? He's like, man, they want you to come here. I'm like, why me? So we go in, and when we go in, these motherfuckers tell us to change clothes. Change clothes. We got to change clothes. So they gave us some linen. And, I'm going around with it. And then from then on, it was like, it was on. But the way the place was shaped, it was a big tree that had atrium over it. And the way the house was shaped is there was a bunch of rooms, like it was like a circle. You went to different parts of the house, and there was an upstairs part. So it was kind of a unique house in that way. But it was, it was on. Everything you wanted was up in that motherfucker. But yeah, it was his crib. And it was some freaky deaky shit up in there, no doubt. But it was like mostly just dudes and women, like everywhere. You look in the corner and somebody. Remember what is it? Where Marky Mark, played Holmes. The dude with the arm like thing, and the one character had this woman was always getting banged in the street. Remember that? And if going to the house and he always look at his wife like, "What are you doing?" And later he kills his wife. It was that kind of thing. If you looked in the corner, there was some people humping in the corner. It was a wild night for sure. Definitely a wild night. But 27 doesn't work. It just doesn't work. All right, where am I at? Doesn't with foreign players. USC, doesn't fuck with them foreign players. I don't. I don't. They're trying to push him playing for Raiders. Like, yeah, I saw that Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Jimmy Butler jerseys are tight. Looks good on a D running back or D. It don't look good on DBs. I don't think it looks good on running backs. DB safety, yeah, maybe. Larry Johnson running back for the Chiefs. That's right. And Larry was trying to be some truth seeker. That's right. Larry Johnson. Sure did. Eddie George for the Titans. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Eddie George for the Titans. Iron, thank you for joining. Coming to see me, you must have.
Got to have vision.
Let's look that up. Eddie George. Let's look at see how that looks. All right. Eddie George. There we go. Here we go. Let's see what Eddie George jersey looking like. Yeah, this hits a little different because it's Ohio State. With the stomach, that hits a little different. That's not bad. With the 7 filling up the whole jersey, I don't mind this look. I really don't. This Ohio State, that hits a little different. I have to admit. I like this. Even though it's the 7, which is 9, I don't mind that. Now let's look at the Titans. I don't like this. See? I don't like this at all. That's and these have to be some of the ugliest jerseys in the league. This is some of the ugliest jerseys, but this just doesn't do it. This doesn't do it for me. Now, if y'all like this shit, y'all like it. That's okay. But to me, this doesn't do it compared to. That's a better look. You see how the 7 takes away. It's like the number is the whole side. The numbers. So it's more distinctive compared to. Damn, loud the motherfucker. Compared to this. This is a little cleaner. I kind of like this. This is more Houston look. I actually like this. I actually like that. Don't like that. Don't really like that as much. Let's see. see anymore. Yeah, awkward. I don't know. This is okay. It passes. This is no 20. No, that ain't him. It's okay. I don't mind him. I'll eat a little crow. I have the Ohio State. Oh, you got the Ohio State. I have the Ohio State. Oh shit.
It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Larry B saying some odd shit. Absolutely. Let me read. I don't know, but I think okay. Let me read. I'm sorry, Iram. I don't know why, but I think Miami will win the NBA Finals. I just believe the NBA would benefit more of Miami winning than Denver. Well, to repeat kind of what I've always been saying is historically, if we go in historically, Miami should win because we're looking at a couple different things. There we go. Historically, Miami should win because the NBA does not like new teams winning. As I was saying, if you look at the graph, there's still almost 7 or 8 teams that has never won it. So you're talking about 22 teams have won it since 47, depending, when the two leagues merged. So yes, historically, yes, Miami should win historically because we got an ABA team and the only ABA team to win it is the Spurs. So keep that in mind. Time to stand up and move for a minute. Okay, it's right, probably right for my back. I'm gonna get up, plus I might go downstairs and get me another beer. And so historically, yes, Miami should win historically. Matchup wise, they shouldn't. Because they don't match up well at all. Because they're too little on the wings. You got 2 6'10" dudes, and you trying to guard 2 6'10" dudes with 2 dudes 6'5". Twos, threes. So, but I'll say this, Michael Porter Jr. has not shot the same way he shot before. He has not shot. They have not turned the rim on him like they turned it on in the finals. So, in the Western Conference Finals against LA, he is not shooting nowhere near as well. So I agree with you. The Heat should win it. But I'm going to stick with the way I say. If the Heat, the way I said earlier, if the Heat win, this is how I think it's going to go. If the Heat win tomorrow, the Heat will win the next game. They'll win that next game in Boston, and then Boston's going to come back and win 2 in a row. That's my prediction. But I would not be surprised, again, the way it appears to be like Kobe and Shaq beat Iverson. So I think is going to be the next 2 games is more likely the Heat is going to lose the next 2 games. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I feel. I feel the Heat is going to lose. Despite the Panthers winning, I still think the Heat won't win. Makes no sense how Miami wins with a 6'4" guard guarding the 6'10" player. Yeah, exactly. That makes no sense. Yeah, 2 6'10" players. Because I think Martin is the tallest. So yeah, they're small. They're very small. So I don't know. How that works. How it works at all. My favorite part, y'all. My favorite thing to do is to show y'all what's happening in the Great White North. Because it's treacherous up here. It's treacherous. Oh, my goodness. How many? I need to go downstairs. No, this can't be right. Oh, this is a good one. I've been talking about this shit. How long is this one? Okay. I let y'all know what's going on in the Great White North. What I think is important up here, I show y'all. Plus, I gotta pee, and I'm gonna go grab a beer, so I think I can do it in time. Let me plus the Mickey Mouse said move. Mickey Mouse says move. Get your fat ass up and move. Like, Mickey, give me a break. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I had to make all that noise. I'm an old man, y'all. Okay, our two favorite couples. These are our favorite news couples, y'all. It's Frank and Amanda. Amelia. I'm sorry, I call her Amelia. Frank and Amelia, our two favorite couples. They're clashing today. Again, they both look good. I say this is a little overdressed for this time of year. Frank looks good. He wore this tie the other day, though, but that looks good. I like this. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I definitely like the way that fits him. Color combos, they're not, there's something going on. Usually they're color coordinated, but I'm going to let it go while I go to the bathroom and grab me another beer.
Splashing around in our 10,000 lakes.
But is it the same when it comes to one of Minnesota's crown jewels, the Mississippi River? It is something that Heather Brown has wondered since she moved here years ago. Can you swim in the Mississippi? Good question. Heather went down to the water for answers.
So how much time have you spent in this water?
A lot of time.
It's a hard yes. From the river rats?
Just say, yep, I do that.
People who've spent years climbing, dancing, and gliding on the Mississippi River. What's it like?
I mean, this time of year it's a little chilly. I mean, I don't notice any difference from a lake. It's all the same to me.
It's not scary. It's probably not as dirty as people think.
Is it dirty? Minnesota Pollution Control Agency uses the term fails to meet its recreation standard south of St. Cloud.
Now, the river is significantly cleaner and healthier than it used to be.
We're talking pre-Clean Water Act of 1972.
It's cleaner and healthier, but not clean and healthy.
The Friends of the Mississippi River published a State of the River report using pollution control info, measuring the phosphorus, nitrate, and sediment that can harm the fish and bugs and plants.
Can the chemicals in these waters hurt people?
No.
But the E. coli they measure could.
The main thing you're looking at when it comes to swimming is the bacteria levels.
Yep. Bacteria can make you sick. Too much can make you real sick.
South of St. Cloud, the average E. coli levels do violate the state standard. But the Friends of the Mississippi say that doesn't mean you can't swim there.
I've never been sick from the river.
They just recommend doing it cautiously.
You should be safe to swim in the river, just in a limited fashion, and wash up afterwards. There is one exception.
Heavy rains bring bacteria in the river.
If it's within 48 hours of a major rain event, avoid it altogether.
But there's also a lot of other stuff to consider.
Absolutely.
Lisa Dugan promotes recreation safety at the DNR.
It's not like a pool where you can see a kid swimming in the water.
It drops off pretty fast.
Of course, it's moving water, so there's faster moving water. There can be currents. There can be debris that may not be there. It can change from day to day.
Would you swim in the Mississippi?
I would swim in the Mississippi River.
Absolutely.
And I always make sure to wash up afterwards.
And always have the life jacket on.
Even in knee-high water, the USGS field staff always wears life vests. The river rats do too.
I always say, too, we're lucky to be able to ski down here. With the skyline behind us, we're downtown Minneapolis. It's who we are. It makes us the river rats. We wouldn't be here without it.
Right. The lake rats doesn't have quite the same ring.
It doesn't have quite the same ring, does it? No.
Heather Brown, WCCO News.
What about eating fish from the Mississippi River? The health department recommends some limits depending on the type and
doing it cautiously.
You should be safe to swim in the river, just in a limited fashion, and wash up afterwards. There is one exception.
Heavy rains bring bacteria in the river.
If it's within 48 hours of a major rain event, avoid it altogether.
But there's also a lot of other stuff to consider.
Absolutely.
Lisa Dugan promotes
Yeah, we take my in-laws boat all through here. Yeah, I know where this area is. Yeah, I ain't never seen no motherfucker swim in this shit, but we boat all through this shit. This is the big river, and this shit is deep.
Recreation safety at the
Let's see, right? Yeah, right.
Faster
All in
moving water.
here.
May not be there. It can change from day to day.
Would you swim in the Mississippi?
I would swim in the Mississippi River,
Absolutely.
and I always make sure to wash up afterwards.
And always have the life jacket on.
Even in knee-high water, the USGS field
Same
staff
as it.
always wears life vests. The river rats do too.
I always say, too, we're lucky to be able
All right. So you too can swim in the Mississippi, but it's a good place to ground. I'll say that. It is a great place to ground. Let's see. Well, you know, they have the same problem the rest of the country is having. Where is it? Right here. What? No. Where'd it go? Minnesota. Oh, here you go. This is a national problem. This is a national problem, so. This is a national problem, y'all. Sure, y'all going through it too.
Forecast is always changing, but one factor is expected to stay pretty consistent this summer: polluted air from wildfires. There's no alert right now, but you can still see some haze hanging around from our tower camera today. So far this summer, we have dealt with the worst air quality since tracking began in Minnesota. Alan Henry explains why we'll likely see more of that hazardous haze in the months to come.
The images of an eerie orange Manhattan was top of mind for many Minnesotans today as they stepped outside.
We value our outdoor time both here and frankly when I'm in New York. I love being outside too. Central Park is absolutely beautiful, so I know New Yorkers enjoy it as much as Minnesotans.
I kind of felt like, okay, is it a good day to be outside? And it was all clear. And as I'm outside biking, as I'm exercising, I feel really good and don't have any problems.
But those Canadian wildfires could pose a problem for us too, all summer long.
Typically for Canadian wildfires, their season starts in July. So this year it started in early May. You know, we saw those bouts of smoke in the middle of May come down into Minnesota.
In fact, the air quality alerts issued across the entire state have already reached a record high.
So far this year, we've had 12 alerts, and that's the most we've had to date since our forecasting program started.
Increasing the chances of a smoky summer, the increasing drought conditions across the state.
Certainly with drought, you have a higher likelihood of fires. And so we're going to even have to keep a lookout in northern Minnesota in the forested areas for wildfires.
More smoke could arrive.
Okay, this is my contradiction. We had record levels of snow in the whole state. Record levels of snow up in Canada too. They've had record levels of snow up there. And yet, okay, let's look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. This year, we did not have true spring. We had a snowstorm. We had a blizzard in April. They had a blizzard up in Canada in April too. So you're telling me that within 30 days of winter, right? 30 days of winter, the conditions in Canada became drought-like. Record snow everywhere. This makes sense. How did this land get so up here? Y'all saw this. Talking about fires in May? Here? We had a blizzard in April. Something like 12 inches of snow. Record floods. But now they want you, so it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense if you look at it. But okay, let them tell it. This y'all, let them tell it.
As early as Friday, depending on which way the wind blows.
Don't want to see much more of it. I'd like to see a lot less of it, but we'll deal with it when it happens.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
He needs to deal with this like, okay, let me tell y'all. Don't leave the home with a shirt looking like this. For all y'all out there, if you put it on and it looks like this, take it off and put on something else. All right? Don't go looking like this. This is just like, come on. I mean, everybody should be presentable. If you're going to be on TV, wear something presentable. This is not presentable. This is trash. This is bum-like. Well, you know, he has no pimping. I guess is, you know, he has no pimping. They took the one story away from me. Damn, this is messed up. Minnesota Bridge served as John Dillinger's escape route. Let's hear about that. John Dillinger, y'all.
Like an angry rhino.
You've never. John Dillinger. Don't y'all want to hear about John Dillinger? I do. Damn. For real, this is crazy. Okay, let's hear about John Dillinger. Tell me about Dillinger, baby. Dillinger. This is Fox, and I don't watch a lot of Fox. Okay.
Scenic, but it's just...
Okay.
Well, a pier in Dakota County that juts out just over the Mississippi River is not only scenic, but it's historic.
The Rock Island Swing Bridge in Inver Grove Heights will take you back to the days of gangster John Dillinger, when it was a quick way out of town. Here's Fox 9's Karen Scullin with this week's On the Map.
Some call it the Bridge to Nowhere, but its real name is the Rock Island Swing Bridge. It used to go all the way across the Mississippi, from here in Inver Grove Heights to over there, which is St. Paul Park. It was built in 1894, and it was a double-decker structure with trains running on top and vehicles on the bottom. And it could swing open to let boat traffic through, which it did about 20 times a day. It was very busy at the time. But in kind of an interesting twist, this bridge was also used as an escape route in the 1930s by known gangster John Dillinger after a raid by the FBI. It's how Dillinger got to Chicago. Fast forward to 1980, and it closed to rail traffic. And in 1999, vehicles were no longer allowed to cross. At that point, the bridge was starting to deteriorate. Part of it was taken down in 2009. But there was an effort to save what was left. And around 2011, the city of Inver Grove Heights worked to preserve it and make it into what it is today, a walking pier. A place to imagine how busy and essential this bridge once was, while also enjoying what the pier gives us today. A place to really see the river up close and enjoy all of its surroundings.
Okay, that was a bullshit story. That story was trash. Okay, this is just some shit. Damn, it's like everywhere, man. You can never get away from it.
My name's Rick Edwards.
Hey, Rick, what's happening?
C-K-E-D-W-A-R-D-S. I'm the acting chief of police for the city of Richmond. Today, at the Huguenot High School graduation, we had 3 off-duty officers working security inside. We had 7 officers working on Belvedere to provide traffic control. At 5:13 p.m., officers inside the venue at 6 North Laurel reported hearing gunshots outside. They responded, notified folks on their radio. Responding officers on the traffic detail responded behind me and found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. We had a total of 7 individuals with gunshot wounds. 3 are considered life-threatening, 4 are considered non-life-threatening. We had a total of 2 other individuals who either self-transported or transported by the ambulance authority to local hospitals with...
No. Freaking commercials. All right.
2 of them were from Falls. 1 was hit by a car during the melee, and 3 reported suffering from anxiety and were treated either at the scene or at a local hospital. At this point, we've taken 2 subjects into custody. At this point, we do not believe there's a ongoing threat to the community, and I'd like to say that we are in the very early stages of this investigation. Some of the information I provided may change as we go forward. I'm not going to be able to take questions at this point, but I'd like to let everyone know at 9 p.m. we will have another briefing where I'll have more information for you. At this point, I'd like to introduce Mayor LeVar Stoney.
Thank you, Chief. folks, as the chief stated, there are many details that we can't provide at this moment, and we'll provide that at 9 o'clock. I just want to begin by first providing prayers to the families involved here. Not just to those who may have been victims of this, but also those children. Children were involved here at a graduation. So words that come to mind right now that this is tragic, but also traumatic, because this is their graduation day. First, let me also thank the Richmond Police Department, our partners at the state, also Virginia Commonwealth University as well.
Now, I don't know who this big beefy nigga is right here, but look at the collar. What did I just say? You know, like, why would you leave the house with it looking like this, Holmes? The mayor is crispy. The mayor is clean. You know, but this is the thing, you know, the thing. You know, brothers run the town, so it's your fault. Look at this big head nigga back here. So let's go. All right, I'm sorry. I get carried away.
The question that comes in my mind right now is nothing sacred any longer? Is nothing sacred any longer? We're going to do everything we can to bring the individuals who were involved in this to justice, not just for the families involved, but also for the city. And I will say that this should not be happening anywhere. Anywhere. Whether it's in Richmond, whether it's in Virginia, whether it's in the United States, this should not be happening anywhere.
Excuse me, where I was today was US Bank Stadium. It's about 10,000 people and no shootings. To get inside, it's, you know, you can't, it's electronic screening, metal detectors, you know, you going through it. And now outside, wasn't nobody out there, but it was like, nobody was mad. So why people mad in your state? Like, what high school is this where people is just mad? Like, hey, he's graduating today, so we can go get him. I don't understand. I don't understand.
A child should be able to go to their graduation and walk out their graduation and enjoy the accomplishment with their friends and their families. It's a selfish act. It's a senseless act. And to me, it's cowardice. We'll have more to say at 9 o'clock. But I want to ensure the community that we're going to do everything we can.
All right, enough of this shit. You see the difference of what I experienced today, but let me tell you what I also experienced today. Now, you know, graduation is very Masonic. I mean, extremely, extremely Masonic. You know, if you turn in the graduation cap, it's, you know, everybody knows that's the compass. You know, that's the Mason compass. If you turn the hat sideways, it is such a ritual. I forgot how much a ritual it was. Now, this school, all the teachers that were involved wore sashes that showed where they went to college. It was the college colors. I'd never seen that before. Now, I've been in colleges, you know, that show the different schools, but never a high school graduation that the teachers did this. And you could tell the ones that had their masters because they were a little thicker. The principal, he didn't have anything special on. And the head of the superintendent was dressed like a college professor, but apparently he wasn't a doctor. But as I said, these people, those two men shook people's hands, but they shook everybody's hands with the right Mason hand. 800 people, and they shook everybody's hand right-handed. And remember the spell that they do. You have to take the tassel when you graduate. That's a type of lock. It takes away, I mean, really, literally what you're doing is you're taking away your youth, agreeing that you're an adult. Even throwing it up is all ritual. But it ain't like this. What I just described ain't this. It ain't this at all.
To bring these individuals to justice. I'm going to ask Superintendent Cameron to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone.
He looked more like a judge. He looked more like a judge, don't he? Remember what I just said the superintendent wore? He had like, it had like the, God, what do you call those? You would call them the, like type of armbands. But in this is cheap like a judge. The dude I saw, superintendent, he had a whole like college outfit, and he had his high school, he had his college sash. So you saw his college colors in the sash like this. Look at what he's wearing for these. I'm guessing this is a melanated school, looking at the peoples. But look how, you know, look how low Mason this is compared to what I just described. Look at this. You know, you think he really cares? You think they really given what I just described? You think the teachers was wearing this kind of stuff? So, okay, let's go.
This is supposed to be a joyous day when our kids walk the stage and get their diploma, which is what they...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay.
For Huguenot today.
Damn, the mayor going through it.
Doors into their families and friends' arms, taking pictures. And then this tragedy occurred. I don't have any more words on this. I'm tired of seeing people get shot, our kids get shot, and I beg of the entire community to stop, to just stop.
Well, they're not going to stop. So, but that's just, you know, that just shows you the extremes of what I just experienced compared to what some melanated people experience.
At 7. So tragically, 2 of our life-threatening victims have passed away. We still have the same amount of 7 total gunshot wound victims. The 4 of them that are non-life-threatening are a 14-year-old male, a 32-year-old male, a 55-year-old male, and a 58-year-old male. The 1 remaining life-threatening victim is 31 years old. I also mentioned last time that we had 1 person who was struck by a car. That individual is 9 years old. She was treated at the scene and then released and subsequently went to a local hospital where she continues to have non-life-threatening wounds. I also mentioned last time that we had 2 subjects in custody. I'd like to clarify that at this point. One of the subjects was detained, was armed with a firearm, but we believe, based upon our investigation at this time, that he is uninvolved in the shooting itself. We have another individual who is in custody who is 19 years old, who we believe was involved in the shooting. At this point, in consultation with the Richmond Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, we plan on seeking charges for second-degree murder ×2 for that individual, with more potential charges to follow. At this time, I'd like to just express my concerns and sympathy for those who have lost their lives today and those whose lives were forever changed by the events today. I'd also like to thank the partners that rushed to this scene. The Richmond police officers, the VCU police security and police officers, Capitol Police, Virginia State Police, even Henrico. and certainly our state and federal partners. Virginia State Police, as I mentioned, but certainly ATF, FBI are all assisting in the complicated case that this is right now at this point. So we anticipate having a further update tomorrow. The mayor's office will be providing you all with updates on when that press conference will take place. I can answer a few questions here. I'm not going to be able to give a lot more detail than I've already provided, but I can answer a few.
Chief, could you talk about the expansiveness of the crime scenes here and what we're seeing with a lot of police tape up kind of in many blocks of this area?
Yes. Well, it obviously is a large scene. We always start out larger than we need and then bring it back. We anticipate we will be breaking down this crime scene within the next 20 or 30 minutes. Our forensic technicians have completed much of their work. They're recanvassing. We have canines looking for additional firearms and casings in case we missed any, but we feel pretty good about where we are forensically at this time. We anticipate breaking much of this down very shortly.
Can you ID the deceased, or if not, if their ages at least?
The two deceased are an 18-year-old male and a 36-year-old male. We are not prepared to release the names at this point, but we will in days to come. The families are obviously grieving at this point. They have been notified. That was a hang-up for us initially, but we'd like to, before we release those names, we'd like to give them a bit of time to grieve.
Chief, any idea on motive at this point? Why would somebody do this?
We think the suspect knew at least one of the victims.
Chief, do you know the gender of the suspect and the student?
The subject is, the 19-year-old suspect is a male.
And he was like, is it a nigga? That's what they was asking. Was it a nigga?
And I'm unclear if he's currently a student.
Do you know, could you provide information on the type of weapon used?
We've recovered handguns in this case.
Multiple?
Yes.
Chief, the 18-year-old that was, 18-year-old that you listed that was shot, is that a student graduating today?
Yes.
Damn. You know, shooting at somebody else, and a student got hit the day he graduated. I mean, was that much hate because you knew that it's going to be a crowd of people and that person was going to be there? And for the person that was the victim, the target, did you really think it was safe for you to go around like that, knowing you had something out there like that? I mean, it's a lot of moving parts. When you see things like this, it's a lot of moving parts. Now, I'm not blaming, you know, again, the 18-year-old, more than likely, they said it wasn't him. He was trying to get the older dude. So if you beefing like that, why would you put yourself around all these young people? And again, he didn't go in because he probably couldn't have took the gun in. He shot him outside. Probably was laying in wait. Well, they say second degree, but I bet he had to been there. So you know, it's mind blowing after what I've, you know, experienced today. This is mind blowing. But it just shows you, you know, if you want to, I think this is the same.
Our connection really starts in.
I think this is more of the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, this is. I think they show some of it. Excuse me. God damn, Margot. She looks like the neighborhood coon. Oh, you know me. What's going on with you, honey? Richmond, yeah, Richmond's on, not far from the ocean. A lot going on there, honey, but let's go. Let's hear what they got to say about more of this coverage.
There's celebrations spilling out from the Altria Theater across Laurel Street into Monroe Park when shots rang out. We were told 7 people suffered gunshot wounds. 2 of them, according to Crime Insider sources, have died. In total, 3, we were told by the police chief, were in life-threatening condition. But again, Crime Insider sources telling our John Burkett 2 have died. 5 other people suffered life-threatening injuries. The graduation ceremony that was to follow Thomas Jefferson High School ceremony canceled, and school for Richmond Public Schools tomorrow is canceled as well.
We are still waiting to hear that folks from that Thomas Jefferson, from the
Thomas Jefferson, Sally Henning. Wow. Of course, Virginia. Okay, let's.
Huguenot High School graduation have actually been released.
So, okay. Now let's analyze this. So what we see is, looks like a cross street here, the school's here. This could be just simple going around the school to parking. So this person had to lay in wait somewhere in here. So he was standing around. This is what went on. The guy was standing around and he saw those people. He shot. They're here. I bet he shot from here. That's what it looks like. He shot from in here. He was on this way. She shot from here. Just the way they're stationed. The shooting was somewhere on this side. So as the people had to park probably back here, I'm guessing, to walk here. They probably had to park on this side too. But these particular people had to come from this way. And as they came from this way, the target came here. And the guy was already probably here and shot him from somewhere in here. Okay, let's hear any more video. Let's go.
From the Huguenot High School graduation have actually been released from the Altria. Our crews have been down there at the scene since all this began and have yet to see those folks being allowed to leave the Altria Theater, where they rushed back in for safety when these shots rang out.
And it may be that perhaps they've exited through a different egress. But Acting Chief.
Did you hear what they said? Huguenots. You guys can look that up to see what a Huguenot is.
Edwards did not tell us anything about the suspects. He told us instead about the injuries and the life-threatening injuries in some cases. But again, our John Burkett has told us that at least 2 suspects have been taken into custody. He had video of one of them. And now we're just hearing that the Altria is actually clear. So here is the video that John shot of one of the suspects being taken into custody. There is a second, we are told, by Crime Insider sources. Acting Chief Edwards did not talk about that. Perhaps we'll hear about that at the 9 o'clock news conference update. But again, the Altria is now clear. VCU's alerts have been diminished, saying just go about your business, but avoid the Monroe Park area. That is a crime.
Wow. Oops. The world can be ratchet, y'all. The world can be ratchet. And that's just so sad. I know it's a couple days ago. Oh shit, here we go. It's more of this shit, y'all. It's more of
What
this
does
shit.
it mean to be a leader?
It's more of this shit. They breaking it down. God damn. Oh. This is crazy. This is so crazy.
Details tonight about how my colleague John Burkett.
And look at this, you know, the flowers and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. Yeah, okay, let's go.
He has exclusive sources and has new details tonight about how the victim and the suspect may.
Okay, his polo looks okay. Doesn't even look like it's the news polo. You see how it's supposed to look? Your polo is supposed to lay, and he's got the mic, and his polo's still laying right. It ain't curved up at the corners. You see how it's just laying? That's how I don't even wear shirts like this. I don't like this shit. But I'm saying, if you're going to wear it, this is how it's supposed to drape on you. If your shit is curled up, throw it back in or iron it. But let's go.
Be connected. John, what are you learning?
Well, on the minds of many, Maggie, is why did this happen and what was the motive? Tonight, my sources helped me connect the dots between the 19-year-old suspect and 18-year-old Huguenot graduate Sean Jackson.
Richmond police released this information about suspected shooter Amari Pollard Wednesday.
He is a resident of Henrico County. He was arraigned this morning in Richmond General District Court on 2 counts of second-degree murder. He is being held without bond.
Police believe Pollard and Huguenot graduate Sean Jackson did know each other. Crime Insider sources tell me detectives are investigating how long they've known each other, but are confident it's been a couple of years. Those same sources telling me detectives have honed in on 2 theories. Words exchanged between the two at Tuesday's graduation ceremony at the Altria Theater, or the 2021 killing, but are confident it's been a couple of years. Those same sources telling me detectives have honed in.
So I'm
graduate Sean
confused.
Jackson.
I'm confused because they're saying Huguenot, but is that what they are? Is that what the Thomas Jefferson is called? They're Huguenot. So they say these 2 dudes knew each other. Say they knew each other, but he apparently went to a different school. But let's go. I'm confused. All right. Okay, and I'm sorry. Let me break this down again.
And 18-year-old Huguenot graduate Sean Jackson.
Okay, I won't, but this is how you're supposed to wear this shirt. I'm sorry, y'all was looking at my magnificence. This is how it's supposed to fit you. So if this is curled up, don't wear it. You know? Fold them up, hang them up, whatever you need to do, but this is how it's supposed to look, y'all. Okay. And we knew it was a brother that did it. This is where he shot him from. He came from this area. It's obvious the way the guy was laying. But I mean, this is a young man. They say 18, 19. And to kill, like, what was it to kill him? Like, really, how much hate did you have to kill him? Why? What could it really been over? You know, I'm going to say this. Let me switch back to me. You know what I saw today? And my fiance, she was like, dude ain't in the gang. I saw 2 dudes from this affluent high school today. 2 dudes throw Crip signs. And my fiance is like, I know he ain't part of a gang and stuff, but I mean, okay, do you understand you're part of a ritual and you're throwing a Crip sign? And most people probably need notice, but there's 2 brothers that threw Crip signs. And I know one of them. And he ain't part of a gang. But why would he feel inclined to put that energy out there? Because it's like, this ain't even a lock. It's almost like a seal. When you do something like that at that point in your life, you are throwing out a type of seal. Because it's a sigil, but it's for you, it becomes a type of seal, which could mean sealing. You could have just put yourself inside of a sealing. And it's all because of a little attention, you dig? Most people are showing their diplomas. But these niggas actually threw some Crip shit out there. So, okay, what is it? Why? Why so much hate? Melanated
Pollard and Huguenot graduate Sean Jackson did know each other. Crime Insider sources tell me detectives are investigating how long they've known each other, but are confident it's been a couple of years. Those same sources telling me detectives have honed in on 2 theories. Words exchanged between the 2 at Tuesday's graduation ceremony at the Altria Theater, or the 2021 killing of Thomas Jefferson student Davion Elliott. Elliott and the suspect Pollard were friends. Social media posts and music videos show Jackson, an aspiring rapper, with lyrics referring to a chest shot. That's how Elliott was killed on Larrymore Road in South Richmond. Elliott's death ruled a justified homicide, and multiple sources confirm Jackson was part of that police investigation. I spoke to Davion's mom by phone, who tells me, I would not wish death or grief on anyone. Losing a child is... I spoke to Davion's mom by phone, who...
Okay, so
justified homicide and multiple sources.
Okay, so see, fat meat is greasy. So the other boy has something to do with killing dude's friend. And it was called justified homicide. Now they're telling you, they said the other guy had something to do with it. Justified homicide.
Sources confirm Jackson was part of that police investigation. I spoke to Davion's mom by phone, who tells me, I would not wish death or grief on anyone. Losing a child is losing a piece of your heart. If rumors are true that this was done out of retaliation for my son, I would ask these kids or people who called my son their friend to stop and end this now. Nothing good will come from it. I'm hurt my son's case is closed, but I'm going to let God handle it.
Police continue working every angle of this case. They're asking for people that may have videos inside the...
All right, this is fake hair right here. You see where it's cut? You see how his normal hair is? This is where the fake hair is. It must be really a lot of pressure on people to television to wear fake hair. And as I said before, fake hair is the George Washington. I think that's why, instead of wearing the powdered wigs, they wear the toupee or the glue in. This is a little put the glue in because we're, so, yeah. So retaliation, murder. Man, it just doesn't stop. It really doesn't stop, y'all. And yeah. Also, as you notice, Highsmith played 6 minutes and 2 minutes in the last two games. Game one, he played 23 minutes and scored 8. Not sure why he's playing. That goes into a little bit, what I was saying. When you see the odd guy come in, it makes you wonder. When you see the odd guy come in that doesn't know, like I said, Reggie, what's his name? Reggie Jackson played, and it makes you wonder, like, why was Reggie playing? So we see that kind of thing, and it's. Yeah, that's a great observation. Thank you for the minutes. Big town coward mood, I agree. I've seen at least 5 stories this week about shootings and graduations. Damn, Nico. That is terrible. Yo, Pontiac, Nico, thank you for joining. And to be here, I know you got to have vision. Wow, 5, man. And like I mentioned today, I was at a big graduation. 890 graduated, 10,000 people. Yeah, nothing. That's crazy you said that about graduation. I was at my aunt's graduation back in the day, and my boy looked at something up in the front and said it looked like the Illuminati. Well, kind of so. Yeah. I just found us likely to run into an enemy at a graduation unless it's a very personal beef. It's the last day of school. You waited until then. And adult knowing that he would be there. Adult knowing that the child would be there is what's crazy. Stalking the child. There's dumbass niggas do some shit. Yeah. Motherfuckers wearing pieces. Oh yeah. It's, you watch TV and it's like, watch, because it's funny, like even brothers, like right now, Puffy is wearing a wig. And remember the last days of Prince was wearing a wig. The first dude that's wearing a wig is Jimi Hendrix. Well, let me take that back. And I'll show you pictures of Jimi Hendrix wearing a wig. Jimi Hendrix was the first client of Hair Club. Hair Club went to Jimmy because remember Jimmy lived where people was conking their hair. I don't want no quotes. Oh, that ain't right. Let's see. Well, this will show me enough. Okay, right here. First picture I find. Okay, this is how he looked normally. Remember, he conked his hair. See, he like, this is where, the Afro phase. He stopped conking his hair and just let it grow. This is actually what his hair looked like most of the time. You know, when he's younger. Look like this. But I don't know if I can see any pictures of Billy Cox. Again, this is when he first got to London and he wasn't pressing his hair anymore. He just let it grow out, where everybody's just letting the hair grow out. Kind of afro. It's Billy Cox in any of these pictures. And then this is a wig. This is a wig. His hair started falling out and he started wearing a wig. And this is a wig. I used to have this giant poster in my school, but again, he's wearing a wig here. This is a cool ass picture. Damn, I like this. I'll save this. I like this. I had a big giant poster like this, but this is a wig. This is a wig. When he's at Woodstock, this is in Denver, but this is a wig. Oops. He started wearing this hat when his hair was falling out. All right, right here. Right here, his hair is falling out right here. His hair is starting to fall out. You see, it's much shorter. And what happened is Billy Cox. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing it. This is what he normally looked like. This is first year in 67. I'm sorry, I wasn't showing it. And then this is a wig. This is, well, this shot isn't a wig. This is where his hair started thinning. And okay. And then this is a wig. His boy Billy Cox took some acid and really he was comatose for about a week. And Jimmy had a lot of pressure. They stole a lot of money from him. But this is a wig. He was one of the first hair club people. He's probably wearing this hat because his hair could have been falling out at this point. Started wearing the hat. Miami is where you can really see, if I can find any shots where he's in Miami, that is where his hair is really falling out bad. But over here, this is a wig. So, you know, it's been going on for a long time. This is 50 years ago. This is from 50 years ago. Yeah, and he from Miami. Miami is the concert. Let me see if I can look that up. Jimi Hendrix, Miami. I'll show you. Jimi Hendrix. Let me see. Miami. Whoops, I didn't spell the shit right, did I? No, I'm a non-spelling, non-typing mug. Hendr. Hendrix. Miami. Yeah, right here. Okay. You can see, yeah, right here. See, his hair is falling out. See? His hair is literally falling out here. He starts with a hat, but he takes his hat off. And you can see right here. I mean, he's tried to, you know, but his hair is literally falling out here. And he's only 26, 27 in this picture. But you see this? His hair is literally damaged. Closer shot of the same thing, but his hair is literally damaged here. So let me see if I can find, this to show you the difference when he started wearing a wig. Again, this is probably just going to pull up Miami. But yeah, those are the best shots to prove my point. Where he's losing his hair. See any more wig pictures? And this is the wig. Oh, there was a shot. Okay. Losing it. Okay, I showed that one. But right here. You looked at Miami and you see this is afro. Remember that broken out hair with all the color in it? You see? This is Hair Club, but Hair Club. You've seen the Hair Club commercials. That's what this is. They went to him and he started wearing the toupee. Nothing wrong with it, I guess. Maybe if I should do a GoFundMe for toupees. Would you like to see Big Pontiac with some finger waves? Motherfuckers wearing pieces all the time. High. Choke no joke says Jay-Z wearing a hairpiece with them locks. I wouldn't doubt it. That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That would not surprise me at all if Jay-Z was wearing a hairpiece. Remember the Cheek and Chong? They call it the herpes. He's like, herpes. And for hairpiece, he was saying herpes. Oh, what time is it? Oh, going on 3. Okay. Mickey showing me what time it is. All right. Wild thing, I think I love you. But I want to know for sure. Sock it to me one more time again. Oh, baby, I love you. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, man. Big Jimi Hendrix fan. I think if you listen to Jimi Hendrix, it will break some vibrations for you. It's funny, somebody asked about Father MC when I played that loop on Father MC. Let me see if I can find some more Father MC. It's in here somewhere. Do that dance. I was listening to the shit in the car, and this is definitely Jimi Hendrix music. I was listening to the shit in the car, and Father MC's got to be 89, 90. It's got to be 90. He came out in 90. When I met him, it had to be 90. And I'm in the car, and if y'all don't know what stereo is, think about having 4 speakers, all right? The way stereo used to be set up, and I always had 4 speakers. This is before Center Channel came out for listening to movies and shit. But if you had your stereo set up, and what literally would happen is stereo would literally at one point isolate the speaker. So it would send all the sound to one speaker, then it would go to the next speaker, and then it would go to the next speaker, or it would go to pairs. Do you understand what I'm saying? The sound would go to these two only. The stereo, that's what stereo would do. It would isolate this. So like the sound, some songs, it would literally go through all 4 speakers. The way they had the song going, it would go hit this speaker, that speaker, that speaker, that speaker. And then again, some would hit these 2 and then these 2. But I bring this up because I'm listening to Father MC, and all of a sudden the sound goes to the other side of the car. I was like, okay, this is some stereo shit. It was really some stereo shit. You know, it's like, oh, okay, this is 1990, but they still made it in stereo because the song starts off, it's in all my speakers. And then the song goes to one spot and then it goes to the speakers on the other side of the car. I was like, this is the most stereo shit. But if you listen to Jimi Hendrix, you'll hear that kind of shit. It's stereo. You listen to a lot of music it's really worse in the 60s, but 70s too. And again, if they was doing it up to the 90s with Father MC, you can hear like Earth, Wind and Fire. Do some 70s, 80s Earth, Wind and Fire. And you'll hear that stereo shit where the speakers will be, you know, the sound moves. You know, they'll literally move the sound through the speakers. So that's what stereo is if y'all don't remember that. And it's kind of cool. You know, it's kind of cool in a way. Not mad at it. It just made me chuckle, you know, to see that thing. Oh, shit, I might be done. I think I'm done. I'm on some bullshit. Am I? I think so. I don't know. Tell me I've been talking all this time. They fucking on. Maybe. Nope, it looks like I'm on. No. I'm off here too. 2 hours ago. So yeah, I'm not on no more. I don't think I'm on anymore, guys. I don't know. I don't think I'm on. Let's see here. Crosstown traffic. Yes, Anthony. The wind cries Mary, you know. 1983, what a merry man I could be. One thing I've been wanting to isolate, and Jimi Hendrix sister is crazy, but he does the scratch in Are You Experience. Are You Experience starts with he does the foot pedal with the scratch. And Digital Under. It's only a few that you see his mix in. Digital Underground has a song where you got dun 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 dun. Digital Underground uses that when he's playing with Billy Cox and Buddy Miles and the bands of Gypsies. There's Digital Underground uses the beat dun 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 dun. And they use that with Jimmy. But Band of Gypsies is really cool because there's a part where he plays Sly Stone. He goes dun 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 dun. Oh yeah, Sly Stone goes like this. It goes dun 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 doom doom doom. And then Larry Brand and Jimi Hendrix plays it. He plays it live. You gotta listen to one of the songs. It's at the very end of one of the songs, and he plays that Sly Stone. Dun 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 dun. Take You Higher. Jimmy at the end of the Band of Gypsies, one of the songs, he starts playing "Take You Higher" by Sly Stones. He gets that. Can we take you higher? Higher. Yeah. Hey, Chris, thank you for joining. Woo. And being here, you definitely got to have vision. But yeah, that mix, that's what I've been thinking about isolating, because it's a scratch. The first scratch is probably Jimi Hendrix on Are You Experience. It goes I mean it goes it's a scratch, but he's doing it with a pedal. So he's hitting that pedal and hitting his guitar, but it makes like a fuzz noise. But it's a scratch. And to me, that's the very first scratch. Is Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced? And I don't know if I could isolate it enough not to get a copyright, because they call me Mr. Copyright. They fuck with me so much over the stupidest couple seconds of some shit. But yeah. Yeah. But you know, I'm not trying to show debauchery. But damn, wow, the world is it's like you could just keep showing this stuff right here. Shooting at 10-year-old's funeral started over business. What does this shit say?
What if you could do SEO?
Wow, business dispute. Listen to this. This is like why ask why? Golly.
Shooting that erupted yesterday at the funeral for an innocent 10-year-old killed. The man killed is now identified as a pallbearer at the funeral. Another woman was also grazed by a bullet. Stephanie Ramirez, first on scene yesterday, is live at the courthouse with what she is learning today. Of course, people outraged by what went down, especially this family who was grieving.
Absolutely, Sharon, and I can tell you today, Prince George's County Police are saying that this shooting had to do with a long-standing business dispute between two different funeral services, and they did announce today that they have arrested and charged the owner of the funeral home that was actually providing yesterday's funeral service for the 10-year-old. That person has been identified as 48-year-old Wilson Wesley Chavis, and he is also identified in court documents as the owner of Compassion and Serenity Funeral Home. He's now facing charges that include first and second-degree murder. Witnesses told...
God damn, what is this? Okay, this shit is ragged. He got the bald dreads. It's way back there. Wait a minute. So you a funeral director and you helping and you mad because they didn't pay their out-of-pocket. He was mad because they didn't pay their out-of-pocket. So you shooting some people? Damn.
The shots rang out at around the time family and friends were called to gather around the casket.
What did the meme say? If I don't give a fuck was... This look like I don't give a fuck, you know. Fuck this. He owed me $10. Give it to me, you know.
Okay, well, police said that at the cemetery, Chavis allegedly confronted two people with another funeral service, one of them the pastor there yesterday. Attendees then confronted him for disrespecting the family. Then court documents say Chavis backed up, tripped over the concrete vault lid on the ground next to the grave and fell. And as he landed, immediately pulled a pistol from his waistband, allegedly firing one shot that hit the pallbearer. And then he also allegedly fired a second shot as he stood grazing a woman in the arm with a bullet. Now, we've been seeing messages.
So wait a minute. This dude knocks himself down. He trips and knocks himself down. And then he's mad because he done fell down, so he shoots somebody. Oh my goodness.
A woman in the arm with a bullet. Now, we've been seeing messages of condolences and prayers. That pallbearer, who we were told yesterday was actually a cousin of the 10-year-old who was being laid to rest yesterday. That person has been identified as 30-year-old Ronald Banks of Southeast D.C. No one from Compassion and Serenity Funeral Home has responded to our requests today. Sharon?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so maddening, right? This family now experiencing two tragedies.
She ain't bad, man. You're gonna thick. Let's go.
So talking about this business dispute that caused all of this, do we know what this was all over?
We do not at the moment. What I can tell you is that in court documents, we did find actually that the owner of the other funeral service, this is, or the head of the other funeral service, Glenda Freeman with Freeman Funeral Services, she had recently filed a peace order. This was temporary, and this was against Chavis, and this had to do with alleged harassing behavior. Now, that peace order, according to Maryland Case Search, it ended yesterday, having to do with the petitioner not showing for
Oh, so it ended yesterday because she didn't show up for court. And he shows up today, and oh my goodness.
Early hearing yesterday morning. It doesn't say in those court documents, though, what the previous dispute was about. We may learn more tomorrow. We know Chavis is.
Oh my goodness. This, like, we've seen her a few times. It's bad. Wasn't she the one talking about Baby K? Wasn't she the one that kept talking about Baby K? What is it with D.C., Virginia area? What is it? It's like something all the time. D.C., Virginia area. Ex-deputy speaks out. The jury finds her attacker not guilty. Damn. Yeah, it's a jungle out there outside. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. I mean, it's just like we can talk about people for days. Damn, it's like things are rough all over. Isn't that what they say? Things are rough all over. What is she? Neighbor fatally shot through door by Florida woman. I think we already went over that. I don't know, guys. It is just, it never ends. It never ends. It's like, it never ends. Oh, yeah, that's what he was talking about. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. They be doing some BS in that region. It seems like it. Baby K came from that region. Remember that, Baby K. They know their name, but they kept saying it, and that just shows you. That shows you that's racist. What does Dick Gregory say? What does Dick Gregory say?
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
I mean, the people that were reporting the stories and was told to kept saying Baby K over and over again, they don't realize that they're pushing racist kind of views. They're pushing a stereotype. Again, as I said, you call him Baby K, but yet they're telling you they're charging him as an adult. And then they charged a little 8th grade girl. The 8th grade girl, I think, was younger than him. That they're going to charge her as the mastermind. because she had some kind of beef and wanted somebody killed. In 8th grade, she wanted someone killed. She's a psychopath. You know, when I say this from 400 years of class distinction, poor white trash, she comes up with the imbecile psychopath. That's what they all were. Imbeciles, psychopaths. An imbecile, it's hard for an imbecile to make decisions, but it's easy for imbeciles to get told what to do. So you have a psychopath telling imbecile psychopaths what to do. And that was the saying, you know, as I said, you know, the young men throwing up a seal. These people live under the seal. And because of these types of seals and sigils, they will kill for it. To gain really nothing. There's no real gain. So, and that's where we're fooled. It sounds a bite. That sounds a bit of a comedy. Yeah, absolutely. But it just shows the debauchery of melanated folks. And we're fooled. You know, we're fooled into believing like that King Vaughn stuff and that Chicago stuff. These people, I mean, the way they sacrifice and become easy sacrifices. You know, get a little bread and then, you know, your eye out the prize. But if you still, again, you're an imbecile. Easy to sway. And it's easy to kill you. You know? People don't understand that you reach a certain point, you got to have real people around you. But we see the Mingos guy get set up. They go to a card show around Europeans, they got 22 security around them. You go to a crap game around all melanated people and, you know, 2-3 dudes that ain't really trained, they just got guns. So they ain't there to save you. King Vaughn, I think, took 2 dudes too. You're in foreign territory, what they used to call it, Indian territory. And everybody knows you're a hothead, so it's easy to distract you. So somebody can do you the Wild Bill Hickok and shoot you in the back. Because you're not thinking. You're not thinking who you are and is it worth it? Is this thing was it really worth your life? As I said, like even with Pop Smoke, the minute he landed, they triggered them young boys to do the murder. But again, the minute he got there, he was followed, and not just by them young boys because like the guy that he's from TMZ that now makes all the videos saying that these ain't sacrifices when all these melanated rappers get killed. And I can't really think of Jonathan's name. Infinite Consciousness, I think, is his channel. He's got a book. And I think it was 21 or 22. It was like a rapper got killed It was like every other day. It was like every 40 hours, something like that he broke down. A rapper got killed that year. And this is still continued. Rapping is the most dangerous thing for a brother to do, especially a young brother. But yet it's put out there. And it's like Sly calls it, the illusion of wealth. You see them, they've got everybody tricked into, you got to have diamonds around your neck now. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you amplify or morganite, whatever you can afford. And that's a type of initiation too. Everybody being the same. You take this chain, we all the same. Because jury is a way of influencing as well. And you see everybody doing the same thing. They want that uniformity. This is the costume. And that's what it becomes. It becomes a costume. It's no uniqueness if everybody's wearing the same kind of jewelry. And I don't care how thick it is and how much. It becomes a costume. And I've never wanted to imitate people. Not like that. I like rings. Athletes wear rings. We we get rings. I wear a silver chain because silver activates at the quantum level. It activates stones. So it tells my stones what to do. It goes to the quantum of it and says, this is what you need to do. You wear morganite, it ain't doing that for you. And diamonds amplify. And if you on some bullshit, it's going to amplify bullshit. Right? That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. And the way they use it, it's like, you know, these so-called rappers come back and they give out, you know, the diamond, whatever it says, whatever area of Chicago. And it goes by rank, you know. You see some dudes wearing the diamond little pieces with the little diamond chains. So they didn't mean as much to the rappers or whoever bought it or however they got it. So, you know, you put yourself in a ranking system instead of being exclusively you. Because that's what they try to make you think, that that's the way that you've made it, by taking their chain. I know people my age that hate chains. They used to always tell me in the 70s, there's a lot of cats that did not want to wear chains in the 70s and 80s when people was booming. And it's like, that shit to me, slavery shit. That's how they used to look at it. They used to look at wearing chains as slavery shit. Didn't matter it was gold. He's like, that's slavery shit. Y'all wearing this slavery shit around your neck now. I just can't have that shit on me. I have friends like that. They're like, I don't know, no chains. They ain't want them on their wrists. They ain't want no chains on them. That was the way they thought about it. So the Mr. T wasn't everybody. Everybody didn't imitate. Like, I'm going to tell you, I never knew about Big Meech until I started seeing the shit years later. I never knew about him. Told you, my guy was you can look up on Al Prophet. It's J Nutty. P Nutty? Maybe it's P Nutty. It's J Nutty or P Nutty. Please forgive me. My guys didn't never talk about them. We used to give cabarets down there. I'm sorry. I'm down there in clubs. I'm in the cabaret. I never heard about that dude. So I don't know. I don't know. My guys is from Highland Park, and they're from Southwest, not far from that area, and I never heard about those guys. So it's interesting, you know, how in a big city so many people can operate, you know, hustle, and they're hustling and never hear about them. Because the Collins brothers was operating too, and that's who New Jack City is made off of, is the Collins brothers. It's been a fun night. It really has been. Okay, so I'm at about 3 hours. Them 2 other shows I did, the way they made me break them up tonight. Well, YouTube or whoever, you see how the shows ain't been broke up for the last 2 hours? So what's the difference? There's nothing going on in my place. No other internet used. Fiance sleep. It's just me. I ain't on the phone. It's just this. I pay for the best that's offered. The shit is right down there. My computer is plugged into it. So it's not Bluetooth to the computer. The computer is actually plugged into it. So you see. But it's okay. We got through, and the ones that ride with me, thank you for watching. And all I'm saying is, you know, whatever your thing is, be genuine what your thing is. That's a part of being alive, and that's a part of being a man. A man is genuine. You don't have to mimic anybody. You don't have to fall for, you know, illusion of wealth. My daughter's like, you like to wear your wealth. It's from a 12-year-old's perspective. Well, she'll be 12 in August. No. Every piece of gold, every diamond I get is like when I had to sacrifice my grandfather's ring to feed my children. You dig? How heartbreaking something like that is, but it's like it had to be done. Fucking can't eat that ring. So when I got in a position to make that happen again, I was able to provide for myself shit I like. And it's, you know, I've said before, it's kind of a celebration of my college coach too. Because they called him Diamond Jim. So it's kind of a celebration of both of them. If you can dig. Every time I buy some gold or diamonds, I say, I you know, when I, or what is the word? When I put the sound and all of them on them, it's ornate. No, it's something like that. But every time I get one, I say, for the diamonds I lost, for the gold I lost. And I've said before, I lost a fucking 10-gram diamond fucking just band. Stuck my hand in a pumpkin and fucking took my hand out the pumpkin and the fucking was gone. Took all the guts out and the fucker ain't in there. Oh, let me get deep on y'all. Let me tell y'all. This is, you know, and I know this, I've said things like this before, and I'm going to say it again. It's like, I don't like to explain driving and explain shit that happened to me. I can't even explain it. But I literally saw, okay, this is what I experienced today. We literally got hit by a car. The car came into the back seat, and then the car went to our left. I literally saw a car hit us, go into our back seat, and then the car turned off. It's like I wasn't even looking backwards, but I saw it. It's like, fuck. And the car actually hit us, but it didn't hit us. So that just shows you how can I explain this? This is the best way I can explain it. The best way I can explain it is like, despite that energy that attacked me, I was vibrating high enough, and I used the energy of driving, because there's the energy of driving, and again, what it hit wasn't solid. So when the matter came to me, I was able to dense the matter. And again, I wasn't doing this on purpose. It's just the way I was vibrating. And, you know, and I've had that happen before. Like I've said before, I've had replays. Like you watch, what's it called? The Lazarus Effect, and dude is having, you know, the Groundhog Day. You know, I've had replays where I'm coming from the hospital and I'm feeling good, and I stepped over and a fucking car hit my knee. Like I took that step with my right leg because cars was parked here, metered, and maybe it was a truck I didn't see, and I stepped in front of the truck and the fucking hit my knee. Fucked my knee up, compound fracture and everything. I'm laying on the ground. And the next thing I know, I take a step back, and it didn't happen. And that's a type of ghosting a little bit. It's a little bit of ghosting. So that shit, yeah, I saw that shit and I was like, hey, I gotta mention that shit. Because the traffic, as I said, they've you know, it's summertime, construction. They've fucked up a lot of traffic going north. And I live south of the city. So we go north, they've cut out the main highway going north. So we actually had to go all the way to St. Paul. Check this out. From us, we can just pretty much go straight on this side of the Mississippi. But because they cut off this highway, where we would pick the highway up, I mean, it would just be too much traffic to try to go in town. So what it actually did is took us around the Mississippi River in St. Paul, and we came back through St. Paul, and we had to go back to Minneapolis that way. Traffic is so fucked up here. And so there's a part of you that can change this reality if you vibrate high enough. And if you master what driving is. Like the problem with weed being legal is when you smoke weed, you normally drive slower. because the energies are so different. The reason why so many people can drunk drive is because the energy is literally the same. Drinking and the energy of the highway is the same. That is why some people can literally plug in. Like I told you the story before, and I've told this story a million times. I watched a dude come over to my uncle's. This dude was an air traffic controller in his professional life. He come over to my uncle's. He pours a glass like this up to here of my uncle's fifth. He drank more than half of it. He smoked this fucking Lucky, and we was just sitting there talking. He drank it this much, old granddad, full. Right? He had a K car. Do y'all know what a K car is? He had a K car that saved Chrysler back then, even though Stellantis owns them now. I walked with him outside just to see, and this is what I saw. I saw this man get in his car. He ain't put on the seatbelt or nothing. He just got on his car, and he just sat there. Once he started the car up, he ain't do shit else. I'm looking at him. I'm like, hey, see you later. This car backed up. I did not see this man put his hands on the steering wheel. All he did is started the car. And I saw this car back up without his hands, without him doing nothing. This car backed up, went forward, and because he didn't live very far. But this is a true story. I saw that K car drive by itself. And I've told this story consistently, the same story. This motherfucker didn't do nothing but turn the key car on. And he said, okay, see you later. He ain't put it in gear or nothing because the gear was up here. Them K cars, the gears was up here. Wasn't on the floor, it was up here. And he ain't do none of that. That car did it itself. So, oh, Pale Horse, what's happening? Thank you for joining. And for joining me, I know you got to have
vision.
Lost this sick diamond earring in my couch on Christmas one year. I ripped that couch apart and never saw it again. I always felt it was the Beast Matrix messing with me. Another thing that can happen with diamonds, which are crystals. Gold is technically a crystal too. It's a metal. Like I had a big piece of motivite, and this motivite literally disappeared for about a year. And if you read Robert Simmons' books, it's a very, very similar story. This motivite disappeared for about a year. And in one of my coats, this motivite reappeared. I had another small piece of pedalite, pink pedalite, that stones can vibrate away from you. That is a fact. Stones are moving. Like the crystals are one thing that is really, that is really vibrating. Like this looks like a solid, but technically this is vibrating. It appears like a solid, but we really can't see what it's truly doing. So crystals can go on their own trips and then they'll return. I've had that happen where crystals, like I said, that little piece of pedalite was lost. You talking about like the same thing. I tore my couch apart trying to look for that little piece of pedalite, couldn't find it. Was just cleaning up, under my couch, pulled my couch up, there it is. And that little piece of pedalite had been gone for about 6-7 months. So that can happen too. I think my piece of gold, I'll say this, and this is what I would say. I wore a piece of that gold ring on this finger right here, stuck my finger in the pumpkin, took it out, realized the ring was gone. Went back to the pumpkin guts, the ring wasn't there. It's the only place it could have been. Now, I also look at it as giving into the land on that day. I live on I mean, holy is the best word I can say. This is sacred land I live on. This hill I live on is sacred. And so I looked at it as, my my way of having a porthole to give something to this land because the land gives so much to me. So I look at it for like that way too. And as I said, when I was looking for it, I was just like, I'll go buy another one. Okay, I didn't mean to. He was gone. Save both of us. When I was young, oh, okay, here's another one. That reminds me of when I almost drowned in this river when I was young. Then a couple years later, my sister almost drowned at the beach. Some guy saved both of us by the time we could thank the man. Wow, wow, wow. And it's like you go through, different things. As I mentioned, ghosting is, the first time I experienced ghosting was I was driving home, and like when you're driving where you can whip it and beat a car, the car is far enough, you've had enough experience. And for some reason, I just waited. Well, I waited. I saw my car, literally, my little truck, my little Ford, what was it called? Freestyle. My 2005 Ford Freestyle that I only sold about a year and a half ago to get to Taurus. But anyway, I saw that car drive up the hill. And I laughed because I said, well, that me is in a hurry. But I literally saw, I saw the car drive. I saw my car where I'm standing there. I also saw my car drive and go. And I thought, wow, that me was in a hurry. And then the second time I saw it was kind of the instance where my daughter would go to daycare. My daughter's mother would go to work, and the cat would come, my cat would come and sleep with me. And when we got up, we would walk down the hall because it was a 4-level house. So we walked down the hall, had to walk down the stairs and into the kitchen. And as I'm walking to the kitchen, I'm already in the kitchen making coffee. I'm literally sitting there doing what I'm anticipating doing in a few minutes. I'm looking in the kitchen and I'm seeing myself down in the kitchen fucking making coffee. And I'm like 40, 50 seconds away from that. And I told the story where I'm walking down this same hallway and I fall down the stairs. And I remember how I felt and everything. I mean, it hurt me. And I'm laying down there and I look up. I see one of myselves looking at me. And then the next thing I know, I take the next step. The next thing I know, I take the step before I tripped. So I don't trip and fall. But I felt it. And I looked at one of me. And what it said is you should be able to remedy this. And that's kind of what I did. I did a slight Groundhog Day. I replayed it, before I fell. There's nothing to brag. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying the experiences that I had. So we all, and I said, it's down here, this whole area, this southern part where the Lakota was thick is really strong energies. I've had the giant energy come to me a few times. So this energy is really great here. The lake over there, again, I take my pendulum over to the lake and I find all the power areas where if I want to get serious. And as I said before, my plans right now is to broadcast from the mounds. I'm a broadcast from the mounds on the solstice. That's the plan. If I can get my son to go with me, because it's a rough part of town and I'm not going to go by myself over there. I mean, I couldn't, always take something, but still, I want to be about peace. I don't really want all that around me. I would rather just go over there and be about peace, and switching sides. One thing about the graduation that a lot of people were emphasizing that spoke is like, be kind. And I thought that was deep to tell affluent people. Because most of these children I saw earlier come from very affluent families. It's an affluent area. But the superintendent and the principal both, and a teacher, they all emphasize be kind. And I showed some instances where melanated people ain't kind to each other. Over what causes the murder stuff. I mean, like, listen to the song Off the Lot. Listen to that song. I mean, it sums up perfectly what it is. This revenge stuff. Like, what is this shit? Okay, it's here. God damn. All right, here it is. It's by Currency, Jermaine Dupri. Who all is it by? What does it say? I can't read it. Okay, and 2 Chainz. And it's talking about a revenge killing. It's talking about a revenge killing. You know, because everybody's talking about your best friend just got killed and how you feel. And really, it goes back to, what was his name? Monster. It goes back to Monster. You know, the whatever gang he was in LA. Because Monster gets hit, and then his brother just goes back and opens up in another hood. The first people he sees is the rival gang. And his brother describes being shocked on how much damage a shotgun could do. And this was like 80. And I've said many times before, watch Kill the Messenger to see how all this violence was really, military intelligence. As I said before, Kill the Messenger, in his early writings, he talks about a tractor trailer full of guns. And then you hear some of the gangbangers talking about going on the train tracks in LA, finding guns in barrels. And then you hear the same story in Chicago. Dudes just out in the stockyards and it's fucking guns in barrels. This is military intelligence. And then the killings, in the late 70s and the 80s, going into the 90s, they went across the nation. Detroit. I've showed again and again where you've got these Army intelligence people being assassins, working for the CIA, FBI, and working for the dope dealers at the same time. And all these sanctioned murders. Because again, if you can terrorize the people, you can control them. Right? And you look at who agents are. Because all these dope dealers that are glorified were all agents. Even I talk about Big Meech. He was an agent. You look at all the people Al Prophet pumps up. All of them agents. The dude in DC. The guys, Alpo, all of these dudes. All these dudes worked with the government. Paid in Full shows you this. Remember the movie Paid in Full? 187 on the motherfucking cop. It shows you the dope dealers is the agents. It's one more movie, and I'm old man right now. But it's another movie that shows you the same thing. Oh, Scarface. Scarface shows you. Scarface is an agent. When they put him under the bridge, under the bridge, the viaduct, under the bridge, and he kills the man for the CIA puts him with Omar. And later Sosa kills Omar because Omar is an agent, right? Sosa doesn't realize Tony is an agent too. That's why when, they try to confuse you when you watch Scarface and Scarface gets busted with the money laundering. They try to confuse you to say, well, hey, they were going to put him in jail, so he couldn't have been an agent. He was still an agent. That was just to distract you that he was an agent. I mean, remember Rayford Williams up in D.C., he was still setting up deals with Colombians in jail, prison, federal prison. Allowed. And now he's in witness protection. But yet, when they busted him, they put him on a chopper and shit. They had him all chained up, put him on a chopper. All drama. I mean, why are these stories? You can look at all across the nation. The stories are the same. Freeway Ricky Ross, Snowfall. It's the same. They mimicked it all across the nation. They picked certain people. Painful, my top 5 all-time favorite movies. So, see what they glorify, you know? Why they glorify something. Why do they got to show you the illusion of wealth? Why is that a constant push? That you got to be a criminal to have any type of wealth. You got to play sports, you got to rap. When they know this is entertainers are a very small part of society. Most people are just regular people that do regular things. And you can do regular things, acquire wealth. You don't really need a Bentley. You know? Whatever car you got is good enough. How many times when you drive your car do you say, this car is great and it's good enough? How many times do you say that to your car when you're in your car? You know, when you clean your car, you get the same thing like when I talk about you cut your grass and the love you put in your house. When you clean your car, you get your car fixed, it's the same kind of thing. Everything in that car comes from Earth. So there's a possibility of vibrating with you. And I've told stories time and time again. You know, this is going back to the energy of driving. How many of y'all have driven a car that you know ain't got no gas in it, but it take you to the gas station? Am I the only one that experienced that? I've literally had cars run out at the gas station. Now, if that ain't a machine working with you, what is that? How do you explain that? That the car would literally run out of gas right at the gas station. And I done came miles away. And it took me all them miles and ain't really had no gas in it. I talked about a car that was fucked up. I had a 5.0. I drove it from Michigan to Minneapolis. I put something like 20 quarts of oil in it. Like every hour I had to put more oil in the car, but yet it still made it. So there's an energy there that a machine will work with you. Because the driving, it's the entity that eats off driving. Doesn't matter, electric, it wants the motion on the highway. And this big picture back here shows you these men can't die because this entity needs to be built. These are smaller entities down there, but this entity wanted to be higher than all of those. So it can't let all these people fall off, right? And that's the same way with driving. It can't let everybody. Like we were riding and I saw some people changing the tire and I gave them energy. And my fiance caught me. She's like, what is that for? Like I'm sending them safety and I'm sending them energy. Because it's hectic being on the highway, all these things moving fast and you trying to change a tire and shit. If you don't wait for the company to come and change it for you. Because you never know when you do like that, you don't know how long it's going to take. So some people just sit there and wait for the people to come. And I haven't told this story in a while. I'm going to tell this story. So this is Michigan. We had my friends and we just chilling. And we had deep snow. Very deep snow. And we was sitting in this front room just smoking, getting high and shit. I wasn't in no hurry to leave, so I was going to sit there till I sobered up. And we watched these two cars drive off into these snow drifts. It was a Jeep, maybe old Buick, I don't remember, but one Jeep. They both drove off into the things. The girl in the first car came back and helped us with this girl in the second car. We literally, the four guys and this girl, they got out of her Jeep. Literally all four of us dug this girl's car out. She had drove over to the snowdrift and we literally had to dig her out. So we dig her car out. The girl helps us. It's a European girl. The girl we helped, the first girl was a melanated woman. We get her done. She takes off. We all got shovels. We all walked toward the Jeep to start digging her car off. And you know what this lady who just helped us said? She said, get away from my car or I'm going to call the police. This is what this European told us that just helped us shovel somebody off. So she thought she was too good to be helped. And she literally, instead of us shoveling her out, she had a Jeep, wasn't very hard. She called a tow truck that towed her car out because she thought she was too good for us to help her. But she thought she did a good thing by helping someone else. But she was too good to let all these brothers help her. She felt that was below her. Now, what psychology is that? That you would rather pay money than admit that you need help. Right? She felt she was too good for it. And so she thought she did karma, though, by helping the other person. And we didn't really need much of her help. It was 4 dudes. We dug that chick out. She helped a little bit, but not really. But yet she felt she was too good to get our help. Never forgot that. Never forgot that lady. That happened to me back in the day when an ex was having a miscarriage. I'll never forget it. My shit was past E. Yeah. I can dig it. That's how it'll work for you. You know, you talk to the car and the car will work for you. You be like, hey, okay, if you're going to break down somewhere where, you know, I've drove buckets. I had one of my friends felt sorry for me because I just hit a string of bad luck. Had a baby just born, had another baby, had to take my boy to school because where we live wasn't part, you know, we lived where he went to school. I still had to take him. One of my friends just gave me a car. And this car drove about 3 months. I drove it to Detroit and back to make a couple $100 doing sports, you know, reffing. And then it finally in town broke down. I didn't feel bad. I was like, okay, hey, you know, it did it for me. Helped me get back on my feet a little bit. Well, thank you, Pale Horse. Well, how long is it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it because I gotta pee again. And I'm about at my limit. I'm feeling good. You know I'm not gonna be on tomorrow night because it is Friday. I don't come on Tuesday nights and I don't come on Friday nights. I can't promise if I'm coming on earlier before the game because I am going swimming at my brother-in-law's, and then I'm going to, and I didn't go see Transformers, and I don't know if I'm going to go see it tomorrow. I feel so bad. I don't think I'm have the time to see it tomorrow. I'm probably not going to see Transformers till Saturday. I'm sorry. So some of you may see it before I do. I don't think I'm going to get, unless I go around noon, which I just might go around noon, but might have to help my mother out. So just depends. I might go early. So, because my fiance has to work and I might pick up my daughter and we just might go to the movies around noon. That would work. And then we go swimming and I might come on early, talk about Transformers. I'm not sure. And I think Oppenheimer is out too. So I don't really care to see that, but I think they're going to put a lot of emphasis on it. Lazarus. I don't know. I'm supposed to record him, and I've only saw one. But watch the beginning where when he first gets hired by the group, and they talk about the time the world was destroyed, and they give dates where the world was actually destroyed. That's interesting because they give a couple dates. And of course, they distract you was by saying, well, you know, because the guy asked her about, you know, the C thing. And he says, well, we got you a vaccine in 9 months. But they give dates where they say the world was actually destroyed a couple times. Could be. Especially, you know, if we live like, if you know the movie Dark City and we live in a dark city environment, we do go to sleep. I mean, you can stay up for so long, but you go sleep eventually. And there was a movie, you know, there's a movie recently where the people couldn't go to sleep and shit, which will kill you after a while. You die from exhaustion. But it's funny, you know, this one person can still go to sleep and everybody wants to tear that person apart. I forget what Netflix movie that is. But you go to sleep, and so you could be what they call tuned. Because the nation pretty much sleeps at the same time. It's a very small percentage that doesn't sleep. As I said, you know, when I vibrate high enough, I can go out and I can see just bodies sleeping in free space where they're supposed to be houses. And they just, people, you know, we live in free space. I mean, it appears like we live in houses and shit, but technically we live in free space. I mean, we're conditioned to think. I mean, really look at what we're supposed to be. You know, neurons, protons, atoms. And they lead you to believe that all this comes together. And I'll give this out too. This does come from quantum of science. Deja vus are definitely gifts. I guess it's almost like a small Groundhog Day gift. Because when I sit in this house, I'm like, damn, I done dreamed about being here plenty times where I'm doing shit here and it's like, oh, I'm stepping into it. Because that's what happens when you have a deja vu, you step into it. You're like, oh, okay. Because I look at what's changed. Because it'll hit me, you know, it'll hit you like people don't, like one part on the Lazarus show, he says, you know, he went back, he did Groundhog Days like 20 times and he didn't even realize it. And deja vus can hit you like that because it can hit you and you don't even realize it. So you miss the gift that you're very curious. I say when it hits me, I start looking around me to see what's changed. Because I know something has changed around me. Because it's like a wave comes in. It's like, oh shit, I recognize this moment. I've had this moment before. And that's what a deja vu is. It's you reliving the moment. No matter if the moment came in a vision or a dream. It could come in either way, right? So if you start feeling them and getting them more and more, they're kind of like little trophies almost. This reality gives you little victories. I don't know if that's right. Oh man, I like all this blue. I'm gonna get the white one. They came out with they could come out with different colors of this Negro League stuff. I like supporting it. As much as I hate the Harlem Globetrotters, I would never get a Meadowlark Lemon jersey unless that's all I could get. But again, we should support them because despite who owned them, they were still all brothers. That's had their own franchise and their own thing, own two teams forever. And it's very successful. And so that's why, you know, we give credence to the Negro League that it existed. Like I was reading, I think I skipped a part when I talked about the football player, Ozzie Simmons from Nebraska, from Iowa State. One part I didn't read further down is they talks about he played in another league because NFL stopped letting, after Fritz Pollard, they stopped letting brothers play. And that was Fritz Pollard played in the early 20s till about 26, 27. But there were other leagues, other pro leagues of brothers playing against each other. Just the same way as we had the Negro League Baseball. At the same time, we had the Wrens. You know, we're talking about 1934, 1935. We're talking about before World War II. And we're talking about the Globetrotters still going. But we had the Wrens. And we had these football teams too. So it wasn't like people didn't come see us, but again, it was regional. And I dare say, you know, history's probably changed, but if the Negro Leagues could have, if Jackie Robinson doesn't go to, and if the Jackie Robinson and all the players decide not to go into the National League, within 10 years, Negro League would have had TV contracts. Somebody would have put Negro Leagues on TV by then. And all they had to do was wait about 10 years. By 1958, say they could have waited till 1960. They would have probably been taken in and merged because people would have, just as we saw in the AFL. The NFL had a few, they had Jim Brown, but the AFL was the one putting them brothers from black colleges in there, or HBCUs as you want to call it, was the AFL. And I'll look up NFL films and I'll show you early AFL footage. And you see brother after brother after brother. Compared to the NFL, you had one or two per team. You had Jim Brown. They let Jim Brown thrive, but he wasn't seeing a lot of other brothers thrive. Compared to the AFL play. It's like I love sports, and as I say, I'm the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. Do you know what it does for me when I get to go to US Bank Stadium, despite, football being fixed? But do you know what it does? That this copy of this spiritual ball game, the sacred ball game, that that even though it's corrupted, when I'm inside that place, what it does, it charges me up. And there's nothing they can do about it. They can't take it because the energy of the game is there. And so that place like that, when the Target Center, I go to Target Field, this shit charges me up like shit. And it's like an unexpected gift was given to me. And I even go even further. An unexpected gift I was able to give out was also given to me. It's like where I sat and where all the graduates had to come back to, walking back out of the stadium, they had to walk by me. 890 some people. And I'm like, okay. Because my Kundalini is constantly going off when I'm in there. And so it's like, okay. And I was like, all right. I had to get it together. And I just, I had to throw that energy out there. You understand? And it's like, when you see it ripple, I had to throw one of them kind of things out there. And it was just, again, kindness, loving these people despite whatever their futures are, and these people being affluent. It was asking me right then and right there in the sacred infinite ball field to give these people love. And so I looked around and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is going to take a lot of energy because it ain't easy. It ain't easy trying to touch all them people. It's not easy. And so I'm not saying it is, but it's like, I was able to throw it to the students. And so it's a little bonus that they all walked by me. And some of them was at the basketball games because I only went to the basketball games, In the fall, I'll be going to the football games of my best friend's son, which is in the same conference. They'll play that school. And I'm going to follow the basketball team again next year because, and I didn't see El Amin. I saw his son. Because his son graduated, El Amin's son at Ebo. And I do not know where he's going to college. So I didn't get a chance. I didn't see El Amin there. I know he was there because Ebo was there. So I know his dad was there and his brothers. So I didn't see him. I haven't seen El Amin in a few months now. But I saw his son. His son graduated today. So, there was hundreds of people walking by me, and I saw them with my nephew and another young man that graduated to play basketball. So it's funny, so you had the valedictorian, and then you had the national merit winners, merit society winners. So you had the person with the highest grade point average, but you had these, so it's all high honors. So they ran the thing, but it's funny, when they were walking up, like my nephew had his, from winning the sectional, he had his sectional ribbon on. So that's what the basketball players wore. But it was funny as they were walking, you could hear like the chains hitting and stuff. So, I don't use the energy just for selfish means, just to light myself up. Sometimes it's called upon to light others up and give it freely. It's as I said, I gave energy to the people struggling on the highway. Just a positive intention for them. As I said all the time, I give freely. And people could look at them and say, these people are bound for success anyway because they've been given all the tools for success. Yeah, that's true. But a good intention in that place doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. So, well, yeah, it's going on 4. I've done with my other shows, I've done over 3 hours. This lady is a sad human being lost in the sauce. Some people are just so scared of their own shadows. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do. And remember, you can't save anybody. Save yourself. If the people want to, and it's funny. This is the Matrix shit. You know, it's like people jump in and out of Smith. Like I catch my mother all the time. My mother calls me crying during the C stuff. And she's like, I think you need to go do it. I just have a bad feeling. You need to go do it. And it's like, get away, Smith. Get away, Smith. She's like, why are you calling me Smith? I'm like, because Smith has jumped into you. The beast has jumped into you. And notice that. Notice that. Because you can be talking to a person and the beast or Smith would jump into him and you're like, who the hell are you? You can see the change in him. And then just as soon as it jumps in him, it'll go out. It's like they'll say some bullshit to you, and then it's like you don't respond, or you're like, what the fuck is you talking about? You know, and then it'll go away. They'll change right in front of you. It's like something, again, you know, possession shit. The time is on my side. That shit jumps in them. Well, thank you, Anthony. Thank you. So be aware of that. But as I said before, be kind where you can be kind. I mean, respond like the energy that's thrown at you, respond to that energy. That's how it should go. And that can be positive or negative. Because you don't want all the demons out of you, because you might need that demon to save your life. So you don't want to be just all about the light. You know, that's what gets me. You know, it's just the light. Okay. The light need to be some lightning sometime. You need to thunderbolt somebody's ass with the light. That's the, the light. Yeah, okay. Give me the light so I can thunderbolt somebody that's fucking with me. That's the way. Well, maybe early tomorrow, but doubtful. I'm going to be pretty busy. I don't know if I can do an afternoon show. I am going to go to sleep and not wake up until around noonish. So, busy day. And if me and, okay, it says time to stand up. I am going to stand up. I really like this Mickey Mouse watch on this iPhone. iWatch. My father had a Mickey Mouse watch. A Timex Mickey Mouse watch back in 1969. He was so proud of it. And over the years, that's all he bought. He always had Mickey Mouse faces. He didn't have no style, though. He never had a Rolex Mickey Mouse. I don't think they made it, though. Well, y'all, thank you. Exchange of energy. Feel the energy between your own hands. It's just that simple. You know, that's part of correspondence, is feeling the energy that you possess. You bring in energy with your right hand. You get rid of exhaust energy with your left hand. That's why when you harmonize, you have the filters. You have the filters. You bring in, filtered, put out, filtered. In, filtered, put out, filtered. But the same thing, just put your hands like this. You should be able to feel it. The energy between your hands. And then, like, if you get acupuncture and they put them pins in your hands, and it's the same thing. You can still feel the communication between the two. That's what, like creativeness is trying to get your right brain. European thinking is left brain dominant. That's how Europeans think. Even the way Europeans breathe. That was the biggest part of communication, because Europeans are chest breathers. And that's what we pretty much are. We're chest breathers. But the Aztecs and the people in the Americas weren't breathing like that. They're natural breathers. They weren't these upper, just everything's, nasally breathe. So that was a part of communication they didn't even understand, because these people didn't even know how to breathe right. So that's where, and then you communicate that way. Not holding everything up here. That's what the Europeans teach you. You keep the energy here. Where the rest of the world tells you, you bring the energy up from your stomach, your brain, everything. The Europeans just teach you right here. They want you to just use this type of energy instead of bringing all the energy up. That's, the chi. If you're grounded enough, you bring it up from the ground and bring all that energy up. not just cheating, you know, bringing it from here. So, till we meet again, say less.
What are we doing?
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Me and Bubba trying to rescue some kittens.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. I just left a light in this bitch. This ain't loud enough. I just left a light in this bitch.
Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Fuck up. Move the fuck back. Fuck up. Move the fuck.
It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Joe V, he looked down, seen his feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok. I mean, TikTok.
Flag cause he wiped up Future's motherfucking ex-hoe. Flag cause he wiped up Future's motherfucking ex-hoe. Flag cause he wiped up Future's motherfucking ex-hoe.
Dance with me. Dance with me.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you
Be satisfied. Be satisfied. Be satisfied. Be satisfied.
What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise? Oh, that's his daddy. What's all that noise? What's all that noise? What's all that noise?
You're my neighborhood superstar. You're my neighborhood superstar. You're my neighborhood superstar.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
Yo, baby, I got all the dope moves. That's what me and this nigga do. We pick something and then we rant about it.
I think we OD.
It all breaks down to, what does this mean to me? What does this event mean to me? I think we OD. Affect my thinking. I think we OD.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I coming. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the do.
Do that dance, do that dance, do that dance, do that dance, do that dance.
I just be shopping and shit, you know, drinking and shit. I just be shopping and shit, you know, drinking and shit. Do a little smoking and shit. I'm legendary in this motherfucker. I'm legendary in this motherfucker. I just be shopping and shit, you know, drinking and shit. Do a little smoking and shit.